Today, Spiritan priests, brothers, and lay Spiritans are working parishes in the United States from the East Coast to the West, and in various educational organizations, including Duquesne University and Holy Ghost Preparatory School, and in different justice and peace ministries at the service of the poor. In the shadow of the Mississippi River lies a very special group of Spiritan missions. The state of Arkansas was the first to welcome the Spiritan missionaries in the United States.
I was actually baptized in the parish back in 1954 when I was born, and I've been with the parish my whole life. The eastern Arkansas is a delta. When I say delta, that's when that basically all the agricultural crops are grown.
I don't know if there'll be anybody come after I leave, but I'm not leaving until they put me in the grave down there. I have my grave picked out. And the bishop said, your next assignment, that's where it'll be your appointment.
Well, we've had several priests here, but they're all kind of community leaders, you know. It's not a big church, and they're easy to talk to. Kind of like a family, just a big family.
You can't begin to go into the changes to the town. It's definitely not the town I grew up in. I'm from Helena, and I live in West Helena. We come up here to church on Saturday evening. There's just so much change. It's unreal. Just a whole new world from what it was when I was a child growing up.
Well, the big challenge in this parish, I think that this is a rural place. We don't have many young people. But whenever we have young people, whenever they get ready for college, they move to big city. And then they will find a job there, they get married there, and they live there. They never move back until they get older.
Coming here was just you're going into an unknown missionary territory.
Lots of the old families are still here. I mean, they're still the originals. Lots of them came from Switzerland and Germany. But it's in our parishes, we're spreading out now. We're building this new building, because the old ones have been here, you know, years, and it's time to replace them. I remember during the World War II that the soldiers would load up here at the depot in Conway, you know, they'd get out, be going to service and coming back there on the railroad.
I'm born and raised here, I've been here all my life. We experienced the Holy Ghost Fathers every day in the school, on the weekends at Mass, as an altar server, serving with them. Had a lot of great priests come through here, Father Dan Walsh, Father Wayne Epperly.
Us Catholic boys would always go duck hunting up at this lake called Brushy Lake. And the thing of it was, on Sunday mornings when we'd go duck hunting and we'd come back, well, we'd stop off at St. Cyprian's for Mass on Sunday morning.
First of all, our church was one of the earliest churches in Arkansas. 1873, I think, is when our church was originally built. And so we had a Catholic congregation in Brinkley even at that time, although we are in a minority down here in Arkansas, about 10% Catholic. But, you know, we had a Catholic community, and it grew. Most of the younger people went to college, and they did not come back to Brinkley. The jobs, if you're not in agriculture, it's just pretty tough to find a job here in the Delta. And so our church started getting smaller and smaller. And on Sunday now, we probably have 30 to 40 people, come to Mass.
When we first started out here, as I can remember, our little church was full, and we had a lot of northern people, but that's because we had a lot of factories. And then as I grew older, the factories, of course, left the area, and a lot of consolidations. And I think what happened is then those families, of course, moved. The three priests that we have, they add so much different flavor. Father Gilbert, who's our recent addition, is just the kindest, sweetest guy I've ever been around, other than Father Honest. Father Honest was also so similar to Father Gilbert. I just think they're just happy to be here. I really do. We're happy to have them.
Here in Arkansas, the Spiritans came to respond to the need of the German farmers who were migrating, German migrants who are moving here, and so they needed care, pastoral care, and there was very little Catholic pastoral care, and so they came. And here in Helena, the Spiritans came in the 1920s, to open up a community and to minister to the black community. And the church, St. Cyprian Church, was open and it grew.
I grew up in this church at St. Mary's. I grew up about 5 blocks from here. My great-granddaddy, believe it or not, got off the plantation as a slave as a young teen, moved to Helena, and lived 3 blocks on the other side of here. And so in about 150, 160 years, my family has been on both sides of this church.
I moved over in this parish in 1972 after my husband and I married. I'm from Center Ridge, he's from Little Rock, and we divided the difference. And so I moved from Center Ridge to here after we married.
I am a social worker, so I do therapy with kids from kindergarten until they're 18 years old. And I work with kids in the Delta who are usually impoverished, who often live in single-parent homes, and who have a mental health diagnosis. And I work with them just to navigate their life. It's a very welcoming community. Like I said, everyone feels welcomed when they come in the church. And the priest, I'm trying to think when I first met Father Vu, and of course, any new priest that comes here, I'm always really intrigued and curious about their history and where they come from. But when you meet someone from a different country who has the same exact belief system as you, and you think, we're not so different in many ways, but the stories that Father Vu had to tell about his childhood.
We try to have some activity for young people. And also, another thing is we go to visit the elder, the homebound, those who old elder, they cannot come to church, so we go to see them every week.
The challenge of communication. I spoke English according to how it is taught in East Africa and how I was taught by the Irish confreres and as well as the American confreres. This parish is not a wealthy parish, just as well as the city is no longer a well-to-do city. It is a struggling small city in the Delta, and it is considered one of the poorest areas, I think, in the United States, in this the Delta area. As well as here in Arkansas, this area is considered one of the poorest now. St. Mary Catholic Church in Helena is the base, and it is the biggest community. We have over 100 people who attend every Sunday, and today you also saw that we had tourists who arrived from all over the world.
The town has grown significantly in the last couple years. Things are picking back up. When I first came, things were like going down completely and whatever. But since then, I'm a member of Helena Main Street. So with that, we've been helping on the beautification of our downtown area, making the different changes that you're seeing up and down the streets of Terrye. The community is growing. We got businesses coming in. We're selling a lot of the buildings down through there. So a lot of good changes are coming about.
And every summer, several paddle boats cruises arrive at the dock just a few blocks from the church.
They come in a lot of times to tour our churches and the different mansions that are here. They love hearing about the historical part of Helena, about the war, the Civil War, different things that took place.
The boats used to just come in on Fridays. Now the American Queen is coming in on Tuesday. The other boat is going to start coming in on Sundays. The other boat is going to start coming in on Tuesdays. And we have so many that get off that boat that come to Mass on Sunday, and we love it. And then when we thank them for coming, they say, "Oh no, we thank you for being here so that we can go to Mass on Sundays when we stop."
It's the people, the parishioners, that keep the faith alive in the many churches in Arkansas. and many of them come from other parts of the country and settled in and around the area.
I moved here from New York City, and in New York City I was a Catholic, and I've been a Catholic for about 20 some odd years. There's no other faith like this. Every day I think I learn a little more about the faith and about myself, especially myself.
Yeah, we've had a chance, first of all, to have a priest to celebrate Mass, and celebrate the sacraments. And, you know, that's so very special in our little town when, you know, our population lost, that we still have priests that can come celebrate Mass with us. So that's been a big plus, just having priests. But what they've also brought to the table is the diversity that we have been able to learn from them. We have one from the Congo, one from Tanzania, and one from South Vietnam. And so, you know, it's different lifestyles, and we've been able to share with each other and have dinner together and visit about the different lifestyles and learn from each other.
People that have been here forever, we still love it. It's a quiet little town on the river, and the weather's usually pretty good, so, you know, but it's not. When I was growing up, because I'm 72 years old, when I was growing up, we had stores on every corner, and we had all, you know, things we don't have now, but it's still Helena. It's still my home.
And we're rebuilding our main street, and our churches have fallen back, but they seem to be growing back now, getting more people in here. And our Catholic church is wonderful.
They're really nice priests here. And well, actually, so when we got here, I was afraid or shy to come to church, because I usually attend to Spanish Mass. This is my first, time that I go to English Mass.
This parish, I think it's one of the most welcoming parishes that I've ever been in, and I'm probably biased because I have known these people my whole life, but I've also heard other people tell me just how welcomed they feel when they come here.
You know, priests are just priests, and they're just, they seem to, I guess the Spirit leads them to show us the good, They're here to lead us, and I know sometimes we go our own way, but the priests here are good.
It's good to have that history as Spiritans, that we know that we started from this area, and we need to continue having these missions in this state.
The future for the parish here and the parishes around depend very much on the futures of the small towns. If one day we happen to have a company that comes down here to begin big business, capable of employing more than 1,000 people plus, it might change quite the life of this city. So we hope for such a miracle to happen in our own lifetime.
The Prison Ministry Office oversees the volunteer-based ministry that responds to the spiritual needs of those who are incarcerated and their families. It assures that spiritual support is provided by trained volunteers on a regular basis in the prison system in Arkansas.
For me, that go to prison ministry is very, very different from other kind of ministry, because those men in there, they far away from home. This is federal prison, so they are all far away from home, and they do really need the spiritual help in the place. Every time I go in, I have 2 hours, 1 hour for Mass, another hour confession and talking with the guys.
When I do retire from farming, hopefully in a year or two, I plan on trying to expand that ministry.
We are 3 here together, and we work as a team, and we have 5 churches, and they are far away from each other, so we take turn to say Mass in different places.
The Spiritan Missions in Arkansas, just one of the many in the United States, and part of the ongoing mission of the Spiritans.